If you're looking for the best Sony phone, here's a list you must see. We made this list based on our personal preference and sorted it based on their features, prices, quality, durability, and reputation of the manufacturers and customer feedback. Also, we've included options for every type of customer. So let's get started. At the first position of our list, we have Xperia 1 Roman 3. The Sony Xperia 1 Roman 3 is the top Sony flagship, with the highlight being that it's the world's first smartphone with a 4K 120 HD. That's arguably overkill, but it's certainly impressive, with its 6.5-inch OLED display being among the best screens you'll find on a smartphone. Other aspects of the Sony Xperia 1 Roman 3 also impress a lot, particularly its battery life, which in our review we found outperformed most flagships, despite the phone only having a middling 4,500 mAh capacity. This is that rare flagship phone that also has a 3.5mm headphone port, which will be a big selling point for some, and the Sony Xperia 1 Roman 3 additionally has top-end power and a capable camera setup, which along with main, ultra-wide, and depth sensors also has a 12MP adaptive telephoto camera, which can shift between 2.9x and 4.4x. There's no in-screen fingerprint scanner, and the long and narrow design won't suit everyone. But those issues aside, this is up there with the best flagships from any brand, and it's priced accordingly. Moving on to the next at number 2 with Sony Xperia 1. The Sony Xperia 1 Roman 4 is obscenely expensive but offers unique features that mean it's perfect for professional content. One such feature is continuous optical zoom with a telephoto lens moving between 3.5x and 5.2x without the need to use digital zoom. There's also the rollout of 4K and 120x video recording, functions for mobile game streaming, a better battery, and a gorgeous 6.5-inch display. It may have a picky fingerprint scanner, but the Sony Xperia 1 Roman 4 is well designed for creative types and those that want to consume media too, right down to its inclusion of a 3.5mm headphone jack. Speedy too. The Sony Xperia 1 Roman 4 is expensive but a truly high-end device for the most. The number 3 position is held by Sony Xperia 5 Roman. The Sony Xperia 5 Roman 2 is basically a smaller, cheaper version of. Sure, there are some differences beyond the screen size to get the price down, but the essence remains intact. And this phone arguably strikes a better balance between price and specs. It has an excellent 6.1-inch 1080x2520 OLED screen with a 120 Hz refresh rate, ensuring it feels smooth to use. Even the Xperia 1 Roman 2 doesn't have a refresh rate that high, so in at least one way the Sony Xperia 5 Roman 2 has. It also has a great triple lens camera with 12MP main, ultra-wide, and telephoto lenses, plus a high-end Snapdragon 865 chipset, and a decent build, which, thanks to the smaller size, it's much easier to hold than the Xperia 1 Roman 2. Next at number 4 we have Sony Xperia 5 with an elongated design that prioritizes landscape media content. The Sony Xperia 5 Roman 3 is a great option for those that love to stream on the move. Alongside that, it also offers excellent performance for its size, and a fantastic triple camera system that's highly flexible. It lacks a few finer points such as wireless charging, and its screen isn't quite as sharp as other Sony phones, but with a focus on media right down to strong audio performance, it's still appealing if you can afford the price tag. Look out for a feature-packed photography experience in particular. Speed and precision is everything with Sony's camera system, and it makes a big difference. The number 5 position is held by Sony Xperia 10 Roman. Sony may have an impressive track record for offering some of the best flagship Android smartphones on the market, but the Xperia 10 Roman 3 proves that it can also make great mid-range phones. In terms of features, the Xperia 10 Roman 3 has a 6-inch 21:9 OLED display with a resolution of 2520x1080 pixels, I68 water resistance, a 12MP plus 8MP plus 8MP triple camera setup, a Snapdragon 690 SoC, 6GB of RAM, 128GB of internal storage, up to 1TB of expandable storage, a 4500 mAh battery, Android 11. The number 6 position is dominated by Sony Xperia 1. Don't let the naysayers get to you. The Xperia 1 Roman 4 is the best Sony phone money can buy, and there are plenty of reasons to buy one. For starters, this phone has a 4K 120 Hz OLED display, world's first with these specs. And it also sports Sony's cinematic 21:9 aspect ratio without any notches, cutouts, Sony phones of late kinda stand out from the rest of the smartphone crowd, thanks to this tall 21.9 form factor and some other quirky features we're getting to in a minute. The Xperia 1 Roman 4 also took the innovative periscope zoom camera of its predecessor and made it better, while the Xperia 1 Roman 3 featured the first zoom lens with a moving optical elements, capable of switching between 70 and 105 mm. The Xperia Roman 4 upgraded the system so it could offer continuous zoom. That's right, just like a professional DSLR camera. The Xperia 1 Roman 4 can zoom from 85 to 125 mm with every focal. This phone is also super fast with the latest Snapdragon 8 Gen 1 chipset and 12. And guess what? You can expand the internal storage. 256 GB with our dear old friend the micro SD card slot. There's also a 3.5 mm audio jack present, defying modern smartphone trends. And the Xperia 1 Roman 4 also features a stereo speaker setup, front-facing, and quite good at the not your average unbalanced speakerphone/loudspeaker. All in all, the Xperia 1 Roman 4 is the best Sony phone at the moment, and a worthy successor of the previous ultra-premium Sony flagship. There's one drawback, however, the price. Sony went all out and slapped the $1,599 price tag to this technology masterpiece. Moving on to the next at number 7 with Sony Xperia PR. We're kicking off with a very special phone, not the best Xperia out there, but probably the most professional one. The Xperia Pro I is a phone that Sony internally calls the camera, and for a good reason. This device features the same 1-inch sensor that's present in the award-winning compact camera Sony RX10 Mark Romans. This 12MP main camera has also two aperture settings, f/2.0 and f/4.0, alongside huge 2. Everything about this phone is tailored toward the photography enthusiasts. There's a new Videography Pro app, and also the familiar Photo Pro and Cinema Pro. As a phone, the Xperia Pro I has borrowed almost all the internals from the Xperia 1 Roman 3, and that's not a bad thing. You've got the Snapdragon 888, paired with 12 GB of RAM. There's a micro SD card on board, pretty rare nowadays, and also a 3.5 mm audio jack. The phone is also I65/68 water and dust resistant. The Xperia Pro I is a bit pricey at $1,799, but for your hard-earned money you're getting the best camera phone out there, right? The number 8 position is held by Sony Xperia 1 Roman. If you want a flagship experience, but you're not willing to spend a crazy amount of money on your next phone, then last year's Sony Xperia 1 Roman 2 is still a decent pick for you. Much like the newer Xperia 1 Roman 3, it offers a 6.5-inch 4K OLED display with no notch, a 12MP plus 12MP plus 12MP triple camera system on the back, and most of the software features. However, it has a smaller 4000 mAh battery with slower 18W charging support and a lower refresh rate display. The Xperia 1 Roman 2 also features the Snapdragon 865 chip from last year, coupled with 8 GB of RAM and 256 GB of. While this means that it won't be as great as the Xperia 1 Roman 3 in terms of performance, it should still be more than sufficient for most users. Next at number 9 we have Sony Xperia 10 Plus. Should you want a mid-range Sony phone with a large display, you'll want to take a look at the Xperia 10 Plus. The first thing you'll notice about this handset is its massive 6.5-inch FHD Plus display. Besides being large, the display on the Xperia 10 Plus also offers a decent resolution of 2520 x 1080 pixels and Corning Gorilla Glass 5 protection. In terms of other features, the Xperia 10 Plus provides a dual camera, an 8-megapixel front-facing camera. Finally, the number 10 position is dominated by Sony Xperia L4. There's a good chance that the prices of the first two Sony handsets on this list are simply out of the question. If your buying budget doesn't stretch that far, and you're keen to pick up a Sony smartphone, then the Xperia L4, the best budget buy. It's not as flashy as any of the other handsets on this list, but where it counts, the Xperia L4 isn't too shabby for the price. It has the same size screen as the Xperia 5 Roman 2, although it's only 720 p. And there are plenty of cameras to play around with, too. Performance is fine enough for a budget phone, but you might find that battery life could be better. The Xperia L4 is a decent choice if you're strapped for cash and you aren't keen on picking up a budget phone from any other manufacturer. That's all for today. We upload tech product review videos every single day, so don't forget to subscribe and hit the bell icon for the upcoming video notification.